From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
You know we're gonna do what we do best. So won't you open up the sunroof in my head.
It's the week of Friday, September 1st, 2017, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and this week's show is brought to you by Casper. Casper is a sleep brand that created an outrageously comfortable mattress sold directly to consumers, eliminating those greedy, commission-driven, inflated mattress store prices.
And you know what? That's your own words.
Yeah, I ad-libbed that.
You don't speak that passionately usually about anything, but
nothing gets my goat like greedy mattress stores. I'll tell you that.
That's something we've always known about you.
Yeah.
I've never trusted anyone who's worked in a mattress store. Like, I feel like they're up to something. And the other thing is mattress shopping is very uncomfortable because you have to go and lay down and pretend you're sleeping while other people are staring at you. Like, there's no way I'm going to get a good gauge of comfort when it's that awkward. Casper solves that problem.
That's right. Hey, buying a Casper mattress is completely risk-free. They offer free delivery and free returns with a 100-night home trial. If you don't love your Casper mattress, they'll pick it up and refund you everything. With over 20,000 reviews and an average of 4.8 stars, is quickly becoming the internet's favorite mattress. I have a mattress by Casper, and their pillow and their sheets, and I'll tell you, it is heaven.
Okay, I want to buy one. I need to get one. Lucy needs a new mattress.
Yeah. There you go.
A new twin mattress.
Well, right now, Casper is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special deal. You can get $50 toward any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/relevant and using promo code relevant. Please note the offer is only applicable to the purchase of a mattress. Terms and conditions apply. I'm telling you, you won't regret it.
No, I've heard like legitimately they're actually really, really comfortable.
No, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Cohen, my son, has, he's my son, but I'm telling the listeners.
I think of him as our son.
He has the Casper in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you, story time where you snuggle up in the Casper with his little Casper sheets and pillow. It's way better than my bed.
I'm not jealous of Cohen, but I will say that he has had more sponsor stuff than I've ever. He's wearing a Maker watch. He's eating Blue Box, whatever. He's eating. He's like got a Casper mattress
every night.
Yeah, it's really quite a life for Cohen.
Yeah, I love it.
Take it from someone like me who spends more than half of their life on their mattress. Either sleeping or eating. I do all my meals in bed
or
under
just
the covers.
deeply depressed.
It's the height. It's the height of relaxation. Like, it's so much better to eat in your sheets than at the kitchen table. I mean, you're feeding yourself a slice of pizza like those old paintings of like Caesar being fed grapes. It is delightful. So you want to invest in a good one because, like I said, most of my time on this earth is going to be spent lying on it. So.
And this is why we can't have nice sponsors. This is what happens. We were doing just fine. You were about to move on with the show. It's like, you know what? Let's just wreck it.
Like I said, I'm your host, Cameron. Here with me in our makeshift Orlando studio, Eddie Big Cat Koffel.
Yes, I can see the script for the first time ever in 3.5 years of the show, and I'm ready to participate.
Over there on the ones and twos, our illustrious producer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello.
And all the way from Los Angeles, California, Propaganda.
Wes.
Yes.
Hey, okay, so I got to tell y'all, you guys who aren't in the building with us, this is the strangest podcast recording we've done.
Second.
Yeah, y'all look mad intimate right now.
It is very. We're all on one twin Casper mattress.
And we have
pizza.
What's happening, I mentioned on last week's show that it was our last show in the studios that we've been using for several years because we're moving downtown. We're building out new studios.
Hey.
And tomorrow is move day. So all week they've been packing everything up, and this week disassembled that studio. So we have no studio. So we're in what until tomorrow is my office.
Yeah.
Sitting around, you and me and Eddie are at my desk. Chandler has set up the entire mix console and multiple computers on my coffee table. And Nathan's off in the corner, our new producer, Nathan. It is, Jesse's on my TV. It is bizarre. It is very off kilter for me right now.
And I want to say this. Congratulations on the new studio. But I did not like change. And I'm not pushing back on the new space, but it is a little nostalgic because I didn't realize that my last time recording was the last time in that studio, which in my mind was still the new studio.
Right.
So like my little spot's gone. because when I started, we were just in the like junky round room in the front.
Yeah.
It was basically a closet.
Yeah.
And now we got like a whole Today Show set.
It's crazy. You know what's funny is like honestly with the new studio, it's going to be so cool. Companies are asking us if they can like sponsor the parts of the studio, like
Are you serious?
certain attire or cups or things like around. You know how like on certain American Idol they have like Coca-Cola cups in front of them.
Yeah.
Conversations
Yeah.
like that are happening about the podcast.
I'd like to bring some to the table
Yes.
myself.
Yeah, well, you put in your requests now.
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah.
I would like. Who makes avocados? Just God.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I love guacamole. So
Well, God, as we know, already does sponsor the podcast.
praise him.
I
guess we're good.
got contacted by Mellow Yellow. I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah.
Making a comeback, guys. They used to do a sweet NASCAR.
Yeah.
And they figured our podcast was the next logical step. So I've been drinking nothing but Mellow Yellow for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not feeling too good, not sleeping very well. But it's a lucrative deal.
It's great.
Yeah, I mean, this is a mid 4 figures deal that they're throwing our way. So you're gonna want to get on this train.
See it next week, like in the new studio. The Eddie Koffoltz podcast spot brought to you today by Sensible Dockers. Sensible Dockers. Same thing he wears every single week.
The new studio, we're gonna have 4 studios. We're gonna have a sound stage. I mean, and the crazy thing is, we're gonna have building all this out in the middle of downtown. They are located a block from the Magic's arena, the Orlando Magic's arena.
gosh.
I can walk down to the games.
At this point, though, you're kind of not going to ever leave.
I
You're
know,
just
that's what
going to
I'm
kind
saying.
of bounce between
Yeah.
the
Two
two for your
buildings.
whole life. And
I
Sweet
love it.
Cohen, where's Daddy?
The only bittersweet thing is, like, I feel like this has come up a couple times, but you're getting ready for your Will Smith season finale of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air moment,
Yeah.
where you walk through the empty office the one time after you've comically thrown Chandler out via Uncle Phil DJ Jazzy Jeff,
Right.
and you walk around one last time with your hands in your pockets, and you're like, "All right, next chapter's here." Are you
And then-
emotionally prepared for that
And then
moment?
comedically, Eddie was in the restroom and we
Right.
forgot about him and we turned the lights off on him
Guys!
and he runs out.
As I'm running out, like freeze frame, music, credit roll.
I'll tell you this, to a fault, I don't look back like very often. I'm always like, what if, where are we going, what's next? But then when like nostalgia or sentimentality hits me, it hits
Yeah.
me like a ton of bricks. I walked in this morning and we were boxing stuff up yesterday and it kind of caught me off guard, like how fast things were getting dismantled here.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been here 6 years and there's a lot. I mean, Jesse, I was trying to do the math of how many magazines were created in this building, how many podcasts were created in this building, like, Trapped in the Cage happened in this building. I mean, just so many memories here. And I walked in and I'm like, I didn't realize like it was going to be gone like that fast. And then I today I walked in. It's our last regular day. The movers show up tomorrow. Yeah. And I just said I was getting coffee and I said to JD, I'm like, it's like our last day dressed normally in this office. Yeah. And he's like, what are you talking about? Well, tomorrow it's moving day. You wear shorts. But I mean, like I'm just saying.
And just as a FYI for the staff that's listening to the show, Cameron has a pretty unique moving
My
outfit.
move attire is highly inappropriate.
It is pantsless, first of all. It's a lot like Snoopy.
Leggings with a big t-shirt. That's all I do.
He basically is Donald Ducking. The whole moving
I mean,
experience.
here's the thing: you're bending at such awkward angles. You're going to be restricted by pants.
That's what I'm saying.
Even a nice yoga pant isn't going to give you the flexibility that you need.
Yeah, well, when you need to move that awkwardly shaped sectional, you need to get real low.
Real low.
low.
Just
Yeah, man.
very
At the
sweeping
knees.
dip.
Stop bending at the back. You got to bend at the knees.
Yeah, you can't. Here's a big. I've done a lot of moving, and the whole bend at the knees thing. It's uncomfortable. Here's what you do: you grab the heaviest corner, and you just hunch back over, and then just let out a shout and jerk up as violently as you can. I'm telling you.
In our nostalgia.
The whole lift at the I'm not going to a CrossFit workout here. I don't need someone critiquing my heel placement. Okay, I'm moving a couch. People have been moving for millions of years before they knew about lower back injuries. So just let me do this thing.
As we are somewhat nostalgic, I would like to say that one of the many truths on this show is that if I can just say something like Donald Ducking it and lean back, Jesse will fully finish. It's like he had been waiting his whole life to talk about how to move half naked. naked. We hadn't discussed it. It's not on the show rundown, but it's like just a truth of the show.
Yeah.
This guy's ready to chat about that.
That's right.
Hey, Eddie, when you spend this much of your life lying on a mattress, eating pizza,
just gonna
pondering
say
things, you got a lot of hot takes.
Oh my goodness.
And the other weird thing, just me personally, is like on this, we're moving on Thursday.
Yeah.
On Friday, I'm closing on a new house. So like all of a sudden,
Wow.
like my entire life is getting uprooted. Like nothing that I've known for the last decade will be the same.
Wild.
Soon. I mean, that's weird for me. I think that's why it's like hitting me so hard.
Yeah.
It's all positive though. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's like I have to remember, like we're moving because we want to move.
Right.
We're moving to a bigger space where we can do more awesome things.
Yes.
The home that we're moving to has some things about it that are awesome. And I'm just like, it's exciting, but it's like, whoa, end of a chapter.
Okay, I have a question. Of all the things, like I feel like the podcast table, it's coming with, right?
No, gone. It will literally be chopped up and put in the dumpster.
That breaks my heart.
I know.
That's like where
We're
my
gonna
hand goes. I can
we're gonna
feel-
burn it.
It's like where I used to preach at Summit. There's like a piece of wood on the floor that was always like my push off point. Like I could just tell, like, all right, I'm center stage in the right spot. I'm way too nostalgic about all this, but I still like every time I walk on that stage, I'm like, okay, I'm home. I know what I'm doing here. Like this is comfortable. What am I? You don't feel that?
No, I don't have a push-off moment on the stage.
But you have things that are like you use a certain kind of microphone, don't you? Isn't there something that like draws you into like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be?
Yeah, I guess it's more like smell and location rather than object.
All right, so you're just weird then.
See,
'cause
I
it
have
felt like you were
a little
heartless.
square of a basketball court from ORU because I used to go to all the games with a student there, and they were really good at the time, made the tournament and everything. And so I have a square. When they redid the floor, they like chopped up the old wooden basketball floor and sold off like little squares of it. And I have a square of it, and I'm like, okay, that's like I get it. Like you want to hold on to like a piece of the object, even if because of what it represents, even if the object itself is long gone.
Propaganda.
The table that if you guys have
Soulless.
seen any of the videos or photos of our studio, we have this large custom console that we made for the podcast and the set and everything. And well, we built it in this building, so it's too big to get out the door.
No, I know.
So that's the issue.
I know. It
And
makes sense.
the way we're going to use the next space, it's too big for that space too. And so, we were
sell it.
Well, that was the thing is like the company that's moving in here is a creative agency and stuff, and they actually are buying a ton of what we have because I don't want to move it. So it's like, great, I'll sell it to you guys. They wanted the console, right? They're like, well, we have a client that wants to start a podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, and I talked to Jesse about this, and he and I both felt wrong about it. Like, I'm not.
It's weird, isn't it?
No, actually, this is part of us. Like, I don't want somebody else to use it. I would rather see it die than live
Oh,
on.
you're tripping.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's the part that I'm like, nah, fam. All the memories are sealed into my brain.
No.
The podcasts are recorded. We have photos. Like, I'm the dude that, like, you have to look over my shoulder when we're cleaning at home because I'm going to throw it all away. Like, I'm gonna throw it all away.
Yeah, no,
You know what it's like, Cameron? It's like when you go to Arby's and you order a sandwich and you open the wrapper and you realize they gave me the wrong sandwich here.
Right.
And you go to return it and they're like, okay, we'll get you the right one. And you're like, wait, are you just going to throw that in the garbage? Of
course they are.
Because if it is, I'll eat the wrong one and the right one. But no, there's a right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. And the right thing there to do is to throw it in the garbage so no one can have it. And that's what we're doing with the podcast.
Basically,
Well, here's the thing. The wrong thing to do is to go to Arby's. That's number one.
The thing that, like, literally, I started thinking about the fact that some random person trying to start a podcast would be at that desk. It took us 10 years to get to that desk. You know what I mean?
they got it.
Like, no. You didn't earn this desk.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
So we're
Listen,
trashing it.
Propaganda. You're just the new guy, and everything's just shiny and perfect for you because you're like a rap superstar. Just settle down.
Let me tell you something. I don't even have a copy of my first album.
That's funny.
That's really funny.
Oh, man.
Why? Don't you like just hop on Amazon and get yourself?
It's on Spotify, isn't it?
Because it costs too much.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon. I'm like, if it's on Amazon, like I found it on eBay. It's like $40. I'm like, I'm cool. I was there.
Heartless.
Here, prop. Here's how sentimental I am about objects. I've never sold any of my cars. Like, even if I need the money to
all
buy
in
a
the
new
house.
one,
It's just
it's like
piles of cars.
no one else. I put a lot of miles on this thing, and I'm gonna. It's either gonna go down a couple ways. One, I go and I drive off the end of a long pier and dive off at the last second, which was awesome. Or I went to a field of someone who I don't know, doused it in gasoline, and I don't even smoke, but I lit a cigarette and flicked it onto the car and just watched her burn because no one else can have it, even if I needed the money. That's how strongly I feel.
We
about it.
literally just donated my wife's car yesterday
There you go.
and got a new one. And I'm like, tax break.
No, it's great.
The thing for me yesterday, I was packing up my office, which I have this like a lot of cabinets in here and stuff, and I like a clean office. I don't want clutter, but don't open my cabinets because they're crammed full of
Right.
all the things that would have been piled on my
Yeah.
So I'm opening the cabinets and I'm like unearthing 6 years of things I'd accumulated. I found
Bills.
my
Tons of bills.
Somebody had sent me a coach's clipboard for basketball.
Great one.
And like a dry erase board, perfect, just in time for Magic season.
Right.
I'm ready to go. I didn't know
Awesome.
where it was. Have it back now.
There it is.
I'm finding so many things. I found a letter from George Bush.
What?
I'm just finding.
It was actually to Jesse.
I found a large Magic Eye poster. I found all the table topics. I found all those. I'm telling you, it's like it's fun, but now I don't have anywhere to put all this stuff.
No, I understand.
So,
Very
it's fun.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
Rest
All
in
right.
peace, the old office.
Rest in peace. Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, Derek Minor joins us. He has a new album out called Your Soul Must Fly. It drops today. Also coming up later, this is crazy. I don't know if y'all saw the VMAs on last Sunday, but there was a moment. There was
Yeah.
actually several really sincere moments that happened during it. One of them was they had
It was
Reverend...
when Katy Perry came in as I thought I cried. I thought it
They
was a
had
touching tribute.
one of the real ones was they had Reverend Robert Wright Lee IV. Robert Wright Lee IV. He's a pastor and he's
Oh,
a
I'm
direct
sorry.
descendant
Yeah.
of Robert E. Lee.
I'm like, hold on,
They
I know that name.
Yeah, they had him out there. He's joining us on the show today because the gesture that he. The segment was amazing and moving, and it was racial reconciliation, and it was
very
him
thoughtful.
apologizing and saying like we need to change how we view history in my own family. I mean, it was really powerful. We also have a look at our brand new issue of Relevant. The new issue, September issue, is coming out this week. It features Father John Misty on the cover, and we have some crazy behind the scenes stories about that. And then joining us here now, I mean, obviously. The big news of the week was the devastation that's happening in Texas, and specifically Houston is underwater. We've been covering it on the website all week, and especially talking about the church's response and ways that our listeners can get involved and help. We wanted to bring on a pastor who's on the front lines there, a friend of ours, Chris C.
I thought it was Joel.
Pastor Chris C. from Ecclesia Houston. He's joining us here to talk about what's going on the front lines and how we can help. So, joining us now on the show is Chris C.
Hey, buddy.
Well, Chris, obviously, you guys have been on our on our minds and our prayers this week. Tell us what's going on in Houston.
I mean, in some ways, the world's seen it from a different perspective than we have, as you guys watch it on CNN and all these other outlets. But what I can tell you is the stories are real. A lot of us have been looking from small vantage points from our homes, and we hadn't been able to get out until today. So today is my first day to get out and assess what's going on at our church. Literally, as I'm talking to you, I'm walking around the building. We're really blessed in that two buildings that our church primarily possesses are both dry, which is miraculous. We're in the middle of downtown. A lot of you have seen the Buffalo Bayou. It runs right by our church. We're right downtown. There's a beautiful piece of artwork in one of the freeways. It's a high-up bridge. It says "Be Someone." It's kind of an iconic piece of street art here in Houston, and it's it's 150, 250 feet from our church building, and the water's all the way up to the bridge. And somehow, miraculously, we're on high enough ground that the church is doing well. But the reality is, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of church members that are in real trouble. And I got off the phone last night with a brother, David Sestiva. He's a young brother who's in the church, got a 2-year-old and a 4-day-old, and they ended up with about 8 feet of water in their home. had to carry their poor day-old out into the street and try to flag down a Coast Guard boat. Gratefully, they were rescued and they're safe. But for most of us that, know what it's like or remember what it's like to bring home a newborn, I mean, we're trying to keep them away from any kind of germs, right? We don't even we don't let people hold them unless we know who they are, and they're having their 4-day-old out in just filthy floodwaters, and the stories are just thousands and thousands. So we just need a lot of prayer. We need a lot of help right now as well.
I'm having a hard time sometimes. This is Eddie. When we have like hurricanes in Central Florida, the news freaks out, and we are really looking around and we're like, okay, there's like 4 blocks that are flooded and you just keep seeing the same pictures over and over again. I'm having a hard time understanding the scope of the devastation. And I realize to ask you to paint a picture of that scope is probably an unfair question, but for as much as you can you like try to help us wrap our heads a bit around what is actually going on? Clearly there's flooding in Houston, but how bad is it?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is it's everywhere. So, and the thing about floodwaters is they don't discriminate. They don't just go to poor neighborhoods. There are, we're seeing $6 million homes, and brothers and sisters are having to step off of their second floor balcony into a boat. What people don't understand, and maybe sometimes forget about Houston, is it's the 4th largest city in the United States. It's about to pass Chicago to be the 3rd largest city in the United States. We think there are a lot of reasons. We've seen some of them that it's such a great city. I think it's different than other cities that are considered to be in Texas. There's a unique kind of a sense of hospitality. Nobody cares here if you're old money or new money. There's this beautiful culture. If you don't know Houston, you ought to get to know it. It's this beautiful place, and it's grown like crazy because of that. And the reality is we're talking about 6 million people just in Houston, and this thing's impacted the whole Gulf Coast. And the reality is none of us can get through many neighborhoods. Some homes escaped and we're dry, but all of us have family members. All of us have neighbors and friends that were hit really, really hard. And so, again, Houston's the most ethnically diverse city in the United States. So more ethnically diverse than New York City, more ethnically diverse than Los Angeles. It's just that kind of a place. The whole world has come to Houston. And so when we think about the only thing I can do as a pastor now is try to think about the opportunity to show love to people in the midst of this. And the reality is we impact all nations when we love people in Houston. It's one of the reasons I love being a pastor in this city. And right now there's a lot of opportunity for people to feel the love of the church. And we're a unique city in that nobody's sitting around here waiting for FEMA to fix it. I mean, people you've seen it on TV. They just get out in their own boats. They start sharing what they have. I mean, we've got, already like 600 people in our church that have homes that are dry that are saying people can come stay with me. So whether they're displaced, whether they're folks like listen to the podcast and they want to come in and help, and we can talk more about how you do that. They're ready to take people in, and we're going to experience a great deal of community. We're praying against, I believe we'll see it. We're praying against anything that would divide the city and divide people. Our church are really, really close partners and friends with St. John's United Methodist downtown. My brother Rudy Rasmus, a largely African American church. And, Rudy and I just got off the phone just before I'm talking to you. We're in concert in all of our relief efforts so that, we're taking care of, we're focused a little more on the cleanup end. We want people's homes to get cleaned out before mold and mildew gets nasty. And so, we're taking the list of folks at Rudy's church and putting them right alongside the list of folks at our church and starting to go out and try to clean up. And we're going to need to work together. And I'm excited that we're going to have the opportunity to do that. That's the only good thing that's coming out of this right now.
When this podcast comes out on Friday, we'll be past the worst of it, and we'll be getting into the recovery phase. And I know in a lot of natural disasters, good-hearted people who want to help send things or just show up, and it's actually sometimes causes more harm than good. Can you tell us from your perspective what we could do or what we should be advocating our audience to do to actually help Houston recover?
Yeah, there are 3 things that we're telling people you can do. And one is we need supplies. The reality is right now on the ground, just to get groceries is difficult. That's going to be solved soon. But the reality is none of us can go into Home Depot and buy the tools that we need to clean up everybody's houses. The volume's just far beyond that. So there are things we cannot buy that you can bring to us. And when I'm telling, there are a lot of people that want to come and they just want to come. And I tell them, unless you're bringing a truckload of supplies, don't come to our city. And primarily what we need are dehumidifiers and fans. We need a lot of those because when you're talking about 6 million people, and I don't know what the numbers yet are going to be, but we're talking about millions of people that have flooded, millions. The only way to start to salvage somebody's home and make it livable and safe and healthy is to start to dry it out. And these dehumidifiers pull the moisture out of the wall. I just can't even tell you how important they are in the process. So there are things we cannot buy that you all can buy and get to us. But don't just come in your car with one of them. I mean, we need truckloads. We need churches and communities to come together and gather those things. The second are the things we can buy. So grocery stores are starting to be restocked. And, we got a lot of people here, like every other city in the country, who live paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of them aren't working and they've been wiped out. And we just need to be able to give them, the basic necessities. So our brother Rudy Rasmus is doing a great job. If you want to send in food or supplies, they're doing a great job sharing those. We're more focused on the relief end. And then what we've done today, I've gone to H-E-B, a local grocery store, and we bought $50,000 worth of gift cards so we can at least give $100 gift cards. And it's, for me, I don't want to carry around all the water and canned goods. And what I've learned is people like to shop for themselves anyway. So if I give green beans to a family that really wants tortillas and black beans, I'm not really doing them a favor. They shop for themselves better than I shop for them. And so there's certain things that we don't need you necessarily to bring down, but you can just send money so that we can do just that. My goal would be, based on the need, is probably our church should be given about $250,000 to just the food needs that are going on. If people want to help us do that, we think that's a great thing to contribute. And then thirdly, if you chip in on those first two, to come just love and encourage people. People feel alone. They've been isolated in their homes. A lot of people aren't going to be able to get out of their neighborhood. Some of them for days, some of them for months, because we have rivers that are cresting at heights that nobody's ever imagined before. So, and again, this is rich and poor alike. We got one of the guys in our church who's an NFL player and just recently retired, and he can't get out of his neighborhood, and they're saying he may not be able to get out of his neighborhood for 3 weeks. And so, it's going to be one of these situations that's unfolding over a long period of time. And people feel isolated. They feel hurt and alone. We're excited to have teams that just have them around to be in neighborhoods. Our general approach is we're going to send people to the neighborhoods. People in our church who are flooded, because we're a regional church. We got people in almost every corner of the city. And the only good moment I have, I'm calling every person in our church who is flooded. There's a big fire truck passing me right now, so we're right by the fire department if that gets a little loud. The only good moment I have in these phone calls, one, is people just feel loved when their pastor calls them and says, hey, we're in it with you. And I can only do that because other pastors and people are calling me and saying, hey, we're in it with you. But I'm calling our church members saying, hey, don't get into despair. Like, we're going to help you. We're going to walk with you. But when I tell them, hey, we're not just coming to clean out your house. We're coming to clean out all your neighbors' houses. They get so giddy, people actually just start to laugh, because they're just like, my neighbors are going to be so thrilled, And the fact that they get to have Jesus-loving people come represent their church to them is just it's an unbelievable, really unbelievable gift. So if people want to do that as well, they can do that, and we'll receive and we'll house people if they're really ready to serve and bring supplies along with them.
So, Chris, you mentioned donating and sending funds. Is there a website, a GoFundMe? Where can people send these supplies and money?
If you go to our Ecclesia Houston website, just www.ecclesiahouston.org, it'll be the first thing that pops up is information about Harvey. Now, we're communicating with a lot of our church members. So the donate button, I've learned enough from Donald Miller to know that's the first thing you're supposed to put up there is this where to give. It's not the first thing you see. You're going to have to look for it because we're primarily trying to communicate with our members, make sure everybody's okay, and take care of the people in the city. But it's not hard to find under our Harvey information.
Great.
And you can give. And those are just primarily right now, they're going to help us clean people up. Great. Then we're going to enter into phase 2. And the reality is most of these people don't have insurance. a lot of folks are renters, right? And so a big part of what we're doing already is just rental assistance. People don't have money saved up, so they got to leave their apartment, but to get into a new apartment, they need a down payment. So, I've been writing checks I can't cash yet, and then when I talk to a church member that's flooded out like that, I just tell them, we're going to pay your down payment on your apartment. Like, we're going to pay it. And again, I don't know where we're going to pay it, but this is what we do when we're the church. So I'm like, I'll go on the Relevant podcast and tell people, this is part of the nature of our church. It's a unique, the week before the storm hit, we found out that in HISD, there were 7,000 homeless students at HISD. I just called and asked for, what are the kids that need school supplies? And then they gave me the list and then the number. And between homeless students and immigrant students that we said we ought to take care of both of those, it was about 8,600 kids, and it was about $104 to get them uniforms and underwear and, the basic school supplies. So it ended up being about $880,000 to do that, right? And I just called I'm kind of thinking I'm a bad A pastor, we're going to step in and fix it. And so we donated our whole offering the week before to HISD, and we're somewhere over $200,000 that we raised for HISD now. We didn't see a storm coming on the horizon, so we just said, hey, we'll worry about Ecclesia's bills later. And then the next week we canceled services. So for a lot of churches, you're in this place of how are we going to do this? But I have this confidence we're a part of a broader church, and people are going to step up, and we're going to keep taking care of HISD. So if you can imagine now, those kids didn't have school supplies. Imagine what's going on for our homeless kids right now. It's hard to fathom. And so we're trying to lean in with all we can. And the only way we can do it is with the help of the whole church.
Well, you're talking to 250,000 listeners right now, and now I'm going to talk to you people listening. We need to step up. And you heard from Chris what's going on and what the needs are, and I would challenge you to join us in donating and being part of the solution, and let's step up and have the back of the church. Let's do this.
And we'll put exact links, the best links on our show notes and on our episode page and everything, just so people know exactly where to go.
Absolutely.
And what you'll see there is you'll see a pay link and you'll see a volunteer link. And if you want to come, our commitment to you is we'll make you breakfast, we'll pray for you, and we'll find a place to house you. If you come with supplies and ready to serve, and then we'll send you out to the areas that need to be served.
100%. Let's do it. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
We're praying for you, man.
You bet. Love you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Wow. Okay. I wasn't kidding. Y'all get involved. Hey, normally right now we do our In Case You Missed It segment. I feel like we need a little music break. Catch our breath. Here we go. Stay tuned. Up next, In Case You Missed It.
Drove your horse into the swamp, stole away like a thief, reeling from the sticker shock. The price they put upon your soul, you buy it back from the burning ashes of the devil you know.
Listening to Beck. The song is Dear Life.
Ooh, topical.
Very topical.
And relevant. Beck, everybody. up next, Weezer.
Oh, no. All right, well, shifting gears a little bit, it's time for our weekly look back at what happened in culture and entertainment. Not the real news, the other stuff.
Right.
It's time for
In Case You Missed It.
Hey, in case you missed it, this week, actor Ed Skrein stepped down from his role in Hellboy after learning his character had been whitewashed. The actor is known for roles in Deadpool and Game of Thrones. Well, he recently took to Twitter to explain why he was leaving the huge film, saying it was in response to Hollywood's tendency to cast white actors to play characters that are traditionally of different ethnic backgrounds. What he wrote, he said, I accepted the role unaware that the character in the original comics was a mixed Asian heritage. There's been intense conversation and understandable upset since that announcement, and I must do what I feel is right. It's our responsibility to make moral decisions in difficult times and to give voice and inclusivity. It's my hope that one day these discussions will become less necessary and that we can help make equal representation in the arts a reality. Good for him.
Man, talk about
Yeah,
putting your
good for
money
him.
where your mouth is, you know?
For real. Yeah, he's turned down a pretty big kind of breakout role. So
Still a pretty scary
Yeah.
movie, though.
this is good. This was a good choice, a good heads up thing. And then I think about like in contrast to like when you had the first female Doctor Who, where I'm like, okay, and then fools were like losing their pants over the fact that the Doctor Who was a girl, and I'm like, oh my gosh, relax, because Doctor Who doesn't have a gender. Like it's a continued story. You like it. Good that she didn't back down to be like, no, it's okay. Like the character can be another gender versus this dude that's like, no, we've seen the character. The character's you're portraying an Asian character.
I'm still stuck on the fact that your analogy for people being so upset that they Donald Ducked it, that they went pantsless. You said they lost their
Yeah,
pants.
that they lost their pants.
Who
Like,
among us
has anyone
hasn't
ever
ducked
been
at the
so
movies?
mad? Has anyone?
that what we're
here's
talking
my
about?
question, prop. Like I have the reason I don't feel like this analogy holds up because I don't think anyone's so been enraged by something they read on the internet that they just rip their pants off. Like I could see like ripping the shirt like Hulkamania style. Like she's a doctor. The new Doctor Who's a woman. No, and ripping their shirts. If you do that with your pants, you're just kind of a creep ball, in my opinion.
That is true.
You could see that?
In my defense, I was self-editing because that's not what I meant they lost.
Right.
I was just trying to like...
Yeah, that's good. We appreciate it. Chandler appreciates it in the post-production.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been watching a basketball game and a guy gets ejected or a coach gets ejected and he doesn't take off his suit jacket and throw it on the court. He rips off his suit pants and just launches them at the ref and walks
Jesse,
away
I would
pantless.
totally
Jesse,
respect that
basketball
guy.
season is starting up soon. I got to tell you, this year I've decided because I'll be enraged so much, I'm only going to wear breakaway pants to games.
And just throw them onto the court, man.
Just anticipating the pantslessness.
Yes, I'm going to Donald Duck it all season long.
Can I just say this episode has already had more pantsless talk than all the 565 prior combined.
Yeah, it's something nostalgic, like when we're thinking back to the old days of the podcast when we didn't wear pants.
Yeah. Hey, in case you missed it, a new pro-refugee Christian movie is getting shockingly good reviews. Following A Case for Christ certified fresh reception, another overtly Christian movie is garnering some critical acclaim. The film is called All Saints, and it currently has a 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's based on a true story. The movie's about a pastor who decides to take a major financial risk after he believes God tells him to save a small town church and convert parts of the property into a farm to serve the local community of refugees. It's in theaters now, so go support good art, people.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
In case you missed it, Coldplay actually wrote a song for Houston and played it for one time only this week. They were scheduled to play a concert in Houston on Friday, but canceled the show, obviously, because of the hurricane. While performing in Miami this week, they announced that they had written a song dedicated to the city and would play it for this one time only. Chris Martin said, "We'll sing it to you tonight and we'll send it over there and all the spirits of joy and friendship and hopefulness. We all grew up loving country music, and of course, that's kind of what we think of when we go to Texas. Here's a clip."
I'm dreaming of when Houston has no problem. In that city where they send you into space. I'm dreaming of when I get back to Texas. Corpus Christi, Harris County, Galveston. There's a harmony that hums down there in Houston. Oh, Houston, you got to keep on keeping on.
So that's probably the one and only time you're going to hear country music on the Relevant Podcast. So there you go. Enjoy that. Soak it in,
There it
folks.
is.
End of an era. Hey, in case you missed it, lastly, Reese Witherspoon.
You know what? I'm sorry to interrupt. Of all the stuff we've said in the show, pantsless, etc., whatever, finally a good Christian movie, of all the stuff, you're going to hear about the country music
I
comment.
don't care. Whatever. If you are so up in arms because you love country music so much, this is not the show for you. Have you heard the music breaks?
Burn.
I'm just saying. Here we go.
I love your rebelness,
Little
Cameron.
Kenny Chesney wouldn't kill you every once in a while.
Are you kidding me?
Zach Brown Band.
I can't. You know what? I have an
Eddie,
issue.
That sounds terrible.
I have an issue
What about
watching.
Chris Stapleton? We count him,
Chris
right?
Stapleton.
That's
Chris
like blues.
Stapleton is blues
He's
soul.
he's
He
transcendent.
transcends it. Yeah.
Okay,
Chris
good.
Stapleton's the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So no. I have an issue. I mute the intro to the college football season because they have those cheesy country singers doing the college football intros now.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Eddie, I will say this. There's been numerous times where I've been at a restaurant or like in a grocery store or something, and a country music song comes off, and I rip my pants off and yell at the nearest person.
Right.
I'm enraged. I'm enraged by it.
Yeah.
If I have to go...
That shows them, too. It shows them, too. If you have a pantless man come running at you, screaming irrationally about a song, faintly on in the background, you're going to get the message loud and clear.
If I ever have to go on a road trip and I know that we're going to have to stop in kind of rural truck stop where they play that stuff overhead, I only wear breakaway pants. I just anticipate. I know.
Oh, yeah. You've got to know what's happening.
That's right.
You got to blind them with the whiteness of the legs, man.
Yeah. You call
Let
it
them know how mad you are.
You call it magic miking. You guys, I'm going on a road trip. I got to magic mic this.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna pass through Bithlow, and I'd have to get gas at that truck stop.
Donald Duckin.
Yeah. Hey, in case you missed
I have
it,
to rip my pants off and harass some truckers. So I just want to keep everyone aware. I just want everyone to know that.
Stay in the game.
So,
in case you missed it, lastly, Reese Witherspoon is making a movie about the Westboro Baptist Church. It's
a comedy.
I air quoted the word church. It's called
exactly.
This
Cult.
Above All. It's about the life of Megan Phelps Roper,
Oh.
the young woman who was set to inherit the controversial group known for their hateful protests of funerals and other things from her mother, Shirley Phelps Roper, and her grandfather, Fred Phelps. Megan ran away from the Kansas-based quote-unquote church, which is essentially made up of just one family, a few years ago after conversations that started with counter-protesters over Twitter convinced her that the theology she'd been raised in was not an accurate picture of God's love. She and her sister have since been disowned by her family, and Witherspoon is co-producing the film. The movie is going to be directed by Mark Webb, who is most famous for helming 500 Days of Summer, and is being written by Nick Hornby, the novelist behind books like High Fidelity and About a Boy, as well as screenplays for movies including An Education and Wild, which starred Witherspoon. That's a legit
there's chops
roster.
here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good film.
Nick Hornby is brilliant. Like his approach to storytelling and writing is, I feel like, is hugely influential in the modern era of like dramedies. And to see him tackle this type of story, I think is really exciting.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Well, that'll do it for In Case You Missed It.
Yeah.
It's a little standalone segment. It's a weird show. Why not? Stay tuned. Up next, Slices.
See your face, you're my lane, fall in love every day. You can chase it for the night. There's a place for you and I. Let me know it ain't that deep either way. Let me know. Said I gotta go, don't wanna hear me say. Let me know it ain't that deep either way. No one's trying to settle down. All you gotta do is
You're listening to Kalela. The song is LMK, otherwise known as Let Me Know. Great little,
I get
great
it.
little track.
It's like an emoji talk thing.
At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Courtship with the song Sunroof, which clearly is very key to any sort of courtship. Of course. Okay, it's time for Slices. What do you have, Jesse?
Heard Brad Paisley doing...
The twang. Where'd the twang
You hear
come
that?
from?
You hear that sound, Eddie? That's me ripping my pants off and their jeans, and it was painful because I just fingernailed them right off. And
You heard Searching for Ticks by whatever that guy's name is. Relevant podcast. Jesse, what you have?
searching for ticks on my big old bloodhound dog. Yeah, I've heard that one. It's good.
And people are like, oh, that's not all country music is. That's just like a stereotype. Turn on the radio. Because literally that's all it is.
Yeah.
I drove through the Ozarks once on a way to perform at a camp, which was strange, but I made myself listen to local radio and get my brain around country music, and it's a lot of twang.
All right. What do you have, Jesse?
All right, so we've all heard about the dangers of AI taking over the world. We recently talked about Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg debating the reality that this could lead to the end of humanity. Right. Well, there was recently an interesting example of what happens when you have AI and algorithms try to do something that really is a job more set out for humans. So Twitter has recently been responding in the last, I'd say year and a half, 2 years or so, of criticism they allow too much abuse on their platform, and they, too much bullying, too many people making threats. And so they have implemented they haven't just staffed up on people to look at tweets that have been reported as abuse, but which they've got criticism in the past before that's kind of a slow process for a tweet to be taken down or an account to be suspended. So what they did is they created artificial intelligence that can read tweets and determine if they are in violation of Twitter's terms of use, which prohibit things like bullying and making threats against other users. Well, a user in Japan recently found out the hard way that there are limitations to this algorithm's intelligence when he was bitten by a mosquito, and it enraged him. I'm assuming he ripped off his pants, prior to writing this tweet. But he said, he used a word that I'm not going to say, not a nice word, but he said, "Where did you get off biting me all over while I'm just trying to relax and watch TV? Die. Actually, you're already dead." I'm assuming he swatted it there with the pants that he ripped off in rage. Moments later, he received a notice from Twitter that his account had been permanently frozen and could not be reactivated. They said it was because they detected tweets containing threats that are not allowed under their terms of service. But of course, the threat was to a mosquito, not another user. Now the guy's out of luck. It's a permanent thing, and he can't reactivate his Twitter account.
Well, I mean, can't he just do another Twitter account? It's probably had 17 followers. I mean, it's not that big of a loss. Just do Philip Ross 2. Who cares?
Yeah. But I'm saying it's not that inconvenient. But what if it was? What if you lost your Twitter account? You have obviously a lot more followers than this rando, than this pantless rando.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that.
And I've never seen you threaten. I've never seen you threaten a living thing.
I know
on
the lines.
Your Twitter account.
I know the lines. I'm not going to. I was chased by a wasp. I'm not going to tweet at it. I know how to handle Twitter.
What if it was like a sports team? I hope we go out there and kill the Golden State Warriors tonight in this. I hope we slay them
won't happen.
or something.
That will not happen.
Right.
Yeah. I would never tweet that. Lunacy.
That would. Right. I definitely picked the wrong example
With
there.
Orlando, it's I hope none of our guys die.
I literally hope they don't physically kill us.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. That's about all you can say.
Yeah, but if that were to happen. If that were to happen, there would be no recourse for you. You would have just lost your Twitter account because of the flaws of their algorithm. I think it's a good thing that they have measures to detect phrases to prevent people from being threatened or bullied. Yeah. But obviously, they got some kinks to work out. Where if they're going to kick you off for threatening a mosquito,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it feels like what will, and I want to be careful with this, but what will get you kicked off Twitter at this point is pretty subjective.
I would say it depends on how powerful you are, I think.
It feels like...
Thank you. Okay, that's the whole thing, too. That's the whole thing, too. Because I could see, a powerful political figure. I won't name names.
Just powerful figure.
Let's use Chandler as an example.
Yeah. Let's say Chandler is elected the president of the United States and frequently tweets wildly inappropriate things that threaten the stability of the world. Yeah. I could see someone baiting him into threatening a mosquito just to see what happens.
It's a Zika mosquito that North Korea planted in the U.S. President Chandler is going to tweet threats at that mosquito population.
And if that mosquito keeps testing its wings somewhere close to Cameron's house,
that's right.
There's going to be a problem.
And in this scenario,
even if I let's say I'm an advisor to President Chandler, who is tweeting wildly inappropriate things, I would be, and I know that when he gets mad, President Chandler takes to Twitter. I would be tempted just to get a bunch of backyard mosquitoes, let them loose in Chandler's office, have him bite them, in the hopes that he takes to Twitter to express his frustration at the mosquitoes. Twitter shuts down his account, and a world crisis is now averted. That's where my mind is going with this thing.
To be super clear, this mosquito also has the world's worst human rights record and a horrific leader. If we're talking about the same mosquito, I'm just saying we got to watch Chandler.
Yeah,
because it's going to get dangerous.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah. All right. What do you have, Eddie?
Well, in a week with not a lot of good news, I would like to just bring you some very...
But that's like literally every week recently.
I know. That's my new preface.
So that's what this show provides the world. It's like the real news is so difficult.
Yeah, can you...
We will mine through the trenches to find the glimmers of levity.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, we're not talking about any of that tomfoolery right now because I have something I need to bring up to you. When was the last time... Let's just go around the room and I want a real honest answer. When was the last time you ate something from Burger King? Jesse, obviously it was yesterday. Prop, what are we thinking?
Oh man.
Anything, even just a little French fry or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I did it dropping off my daughter like at the end of last school year because I really had to rush to the airport.
Yeah, right. That emergency, like
so I ate a chicken. Yeah, so I had like the chicken sandwich. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say this.
I think.
Oh, do you not want to hear my answer, Eddie?
No, I thought it was
smart aleck
I'm sorry, I thought it was yesterday. I thought I was being accurate.
I heard they brought back chicken fries. I went through the drive-thru about 2 weeks ago. Sure enough, they're back and they are delicious. It's a chicken French fry. People.
I mean, Cameron,
it's a true story.
Just like a chicken strip.
High school,
literally high school. I can't think of any time I've gone there. I know McDonald's is a different story, but Burger King, which is across the street from McDonald's by my house, it wouldn't even occur to me.
Well,
in my brain, I used to picture Burger King and McDonald's like Michael Jackson, Prince, Biggie, Tupac, like they beefed. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. McDonald's won.
Oh yeah,
they definitely won.
Yeah.
Definitely won.
Anyway,
though I think Burger King is way better food, and they got chicken fries. I did a quick inventory of my last 4 meals: 2 at Wawa, 1 Chinese, 1 Chick-fil-A.
The fact that
2 at a gas station.
That's actually true.
2 at a gas station.
2 at a gas station, 1 with 5,000 grams of sodium, and like you're just not going to make it.
How are you staying alive?
I'll say this, dude. Wawa, it is a place where you can buy gas.
Wawa is a regional
gas
station on the East Coast, the Northeast. Now they're down here in Florida. I had never heard of them until they entered our market in the last couple of years. So most of these listeners don't know that Wawa is a gas station that Jesse eats at.
Now listen,
it has a gas station.
We're going to get off on the rails here, and we just can't do this because this is a pretty important slice for Chandler. This is really, I brought this for Chandler.
Is it about mosquito safety?
It's about Burger King. Burger King is launching probably the oddest, strangest, I mean, I guess it's working because we're talking about it, but promotion that I have heard in a long time.
Right, now, Taco Bell takes the cake and weird food
I'm not talking
gimmicks.
Weird like, oh my gosh, can you believe it? I'm talking...
Or even KFC where they had like where they had the meat buns on their sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah.
The fried chicken buns. Yeah.
They are starting the Own Your Fire campaign. So all of their stuff is flame broiled. Again, this is for Chandler. I just want to make sure that we know that this is a slice for Chandler. It's called
Own Your Fire.
It's called the Own Your Fire campaign. So if you have been fired from your job recently, again, Chandler, you may want to pay attention. If you get fired, let's say for gross incompetence, tardiness, whatever would possibly get you fired.
Right. Tweeting inappropriate things.
Right.
Chandler.
Yeah.
You got, okay. You're focused. The first 2,500 people that post on LinkedIn, because it's like supposed to be like you're hunting for a new job. The first 2,500 people that post on LinkedIn, I got fired. I want a free Whopper. # Whopper severance.
Yeah.
Will get a free Whopper.
So you go to LinkedIn, set up a dummy account.
Right.
And tweet this or post this thing.
Right.
And then you get your free meal, do another dummy account, you get another free meal, do another dummy account, you get another free meal.
Right.
And it doesn't.
I'm saying the other way, if you want to cheat this system where you know you're not going to get fired, but you want the free sandwich, is to go do something awful at work and get fired, then update your LinkedIn and then get your free sandwich. You can do that too.
Well, I think that Adweek talked about it and they're like, this actually is a lot of mental gymnastics to understand why this promotion makes any sense. So it's like, own your fire. You're getting fired, flame broiled. It's just ridiculous, this whole thing.
Liar, pants on.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, to which Burger King replied, it has been said that when one door closes, another one opens. In this case, it's a door for a delicious flame-grilled Whopper sandwich.
I just thought of another one, Eddie. Another promotion.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever been to Carl's Jr. or Hardee's. Again, a place I frequent. It's a fast food chain.
I wondered who eats there.
It's one man.
Dude, their chicken tenders are
single
legit. The other
dudes
thing they're
that just
known
love the
for.
commercials.
If you look at a heat map of their sales, right, there's just this gigantic, huge red dot over Lowerland, Virginia. And it's just one guy.
It's big in like, I'll say that the chain is big in like NASCAR country, you know. But anyway, the other, because they do a lot of like sweet tea and fried chicken. But the other thing is they have peach milkshakes. So why not we get an impeach? Own your impeach, and you get a free milkshake if you get impeached.
Again, we're talking about President Chandler.
If you get impeached.
I'm talking about Chandler here, guys. I'm just saying, it might incentivize. Yeah.
So you're saying if you get impeached, you go to Carl's Jr. and get a free peach milkshake.
I love free stuff.
Yeah. So like in that case, President Chandler might not fight impeachment.
Yeah.
He's like, well, at least I'm getting a peach shake out of this deal.
Yep.
And it's pretty good too.
So just to close this slice, Cameron, make sure you get Chandler his Whopper ASAP, if you understand what I'm saying.
I hear you.
I would like you to fire Chandler.
What do you have, Prop?
Oh man. Hey, so remember maybe
we're talking about President Chandler here, guys. I'm not saying anything political. President Chandler.
I knew he couldn't.
It's hypothetical. It was a pun. Impeach.
Yes.
Make the Relevant Podcast great again is what he ran on.
Oh, why does that hat not exist?
Oh my gosh, where's the hat?
Make the Relevant Podcast great again, but only.
You know what a lot of our listeners would say? You know what a lot of our listeners would say?
What?
That we need when we finally. And we're working on it, but when we finally add our female cast member again,
it'll be
great again. It'll finally be great again.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
So we should do we really should make Relevant Podcast great again.
Yeah. As like the run up till when you add the permanent female
cast member.
We
again.
have read and heard the criticism, and I just got to say, we talked about Donald ducking for the first half of the show. We know the problem. we understand that this is not the show you want, and I understand it, and we hear you, and we are trying to make the podcast great again.
We are actively trying to make it great.
But our pets' heads are falling off. We're doing the best we can.
We get it. 3 of the 5 people that have microphones in their hands at some point during the show already ripped their pants off in a rage. I know the problem
we
here.
Understand.
We understand why it's so hard to recruit a permanent female host.
You're like, just listen to the last 2 weeks of shows and kind of see if you'd like to fit in with this. And then it's like really respectable people going like, you know what? I think I'm fine.
I have a career.
I'll go ahead and just destroy my own brand my own way instead of
because the majority of the show that I listened to the last time was making an actual case for staring directly into the sun with binoculars. I don't know that my career has led me to a place where I'm willing to join this program.
I see myself fitting in.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. All right. What do you have, Prop?
So you remember a few years ago they had a thing called the Selfie Olympics. Y'all remember that?
No.
Back then, for a while, they were doing this whole thing where it was all about trying to make the most creative selfies, where dudes were like taking selfies, like holding their phone with their toes, and then the guy that broke it was the dude that was the astronaut that took the selfie in space. So it's like, all right, we're done.
Yeah,
there's no way to top that, right? But there was one that did, and it was this Indonesian monkey. And I don't know if y'all remember this, there was like a camera set up out in like this jungle to try to like get these things in natural habitat. This monkey walks up, takes the picture of himself, right? And it's just like, this is phenomenal, right? So then there was this argument about who owns the photo, because technically if it's a selfie, the person that took it owns it. So, but the photographer that set up the camera and all that stuff, he was like, well, it's kind of like, that's my photo. PETA got involved and was like, no, that's not your photo.
What?
The monkey took it. The monkey's theirs, right? The dude lost. So he lost the case. He doesn't own the rights to the photo. The photo's worth so much money because it's the first animal selfie.
So did the monkey press? I assumed that it was like a jungle camera set up to a timer. Yeah, it was just taking occasional photos, and the monkey just happened to be there.
Like
but you're saying
its hand around, so it looked like it took a photo.
But the monkey touched the shutter and took its own photo. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it was some kind of motion sensor. Whatever it was, it was so like leap. legally right now, like, I guess according to the law, like whoever takes the picture owns it, right? And so PETA's argument, PETA is trying to like make a point, but it's essentially destroyed this poor photographer's life because he tried to fight it in court and lost. But PETA's trying to make the point that, you know, they want to assign like human rights to animals. Like that's their whole thing.
That's their thing. So
they think that if they can prove that an animal has the same rights as humans in like an absurd case like this, they can prevent like animal abuse. But this is just like a completely absurd example of it.
Wow.
Yeah. So the guy, so the part of my slice is the guy is literally broke. Wow. He's like, I can't provide for myself anymore. And he lost everything off probably one of the coolest photos he could have ever have gotten, but it's not his. And now, he's the guy trying to rob the monkey. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, the idea to think that like, dude, it destroyed him. Like he's broke.
But I'm just trying to think of the logic of assigning ownership and human rights, financial ownership of something to a non-human. I mean, another entity makes no sense.
Right.
I mean, I understand, like, protecting, they have rights to not be slaughtered and things like that, the animal, but like ownership as a uniquely human, dynamic.
And that's PETA's argument. Like, why? Humans are just another primate, according to them.
That's unbelievable.
What's it even going to do with a picture? Are you going to print it out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's he going to do? Hang it up in the tree?
They're making, obviously, like, they're not saying that, they're not actually, their case doesn't really involve ownership of it does on the surface, but like I said, it's more about, like, if they can establish a precedence here, then they could say, well, you can't go in and tear down their habitat because they have the same rights that humans do.
But they can't own land because you have to pay for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that case, it would be like
squatters' rights.
In the land case, something along those lines. Like it would be a dwelling that they've inhabited long enough. But there would be other cases too. It would be like not just with monkeys, but like other intelligent species, like whales or something. That if you can prove that they have the same ability as humans to like live in community and communicate with each other, then to like kidnap them and put them in an amusement park should be something that would be like illegal. But again, like the way that they're going about proving this is the most absurd way possible with this selfie thing, and it undermines their entire argument because it makes the whole thing a big joke.
Wow.
Parenthetically, you're still going to get more comments about the country music than animals can't own land.
It's like a pretty great photo.
It is a pretty. Yeah, Chandler pulled it up. It is a pretty.
The photo's great.
Yeah, there's no reason why that thing can't
smiling.
Yeah, there's
and
no.
When I look at the monkey, I'm like, okay, he knew what he's doing. He owns that.
He totally knew what he was doing.
Yeah, that thing can totally.
He is looking right.
I'm not saying we can't put you in a zoo, but I'm saying that's a good photo. You totally owned it. So
that's
sorry.
definitely.
It's like once you see the photo, it's like I kind of get Peter's argument where it's like. Nah, he took that.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
photographer. Rip off your pants, get your frustration out, and just move on with life. Because that's
work a deal.
That monkey knew
a percentage.
Exactly.
Do a percentage because it's your camera. I get it.
That's definitely that monkey's Twitter avatar.
Yeah,
and you know what? His feed though, if you've ever read it. It's just he's really upset at a lot of the mosquito situations.
Totally.
He's I don't know how Twitter allows it
now.
Yeah. Double standard by Twitter.
Some of the legalese is like, okay, so if corporations, so if you invoke the Citizens United law, right? So like corporations equal people, like a corporation is a person. So, which we know a corporation's not a person,
it's made up of
we treat
people,
it like it in the eyes of the law. Right. So he's like, so then I can say animals equal people in the eyes of the law because a corporation is not a person, but we agree that it is. So why can't this law, you apply for this monkey?
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. We live in a crazy world. All right, well, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Derek Miner joins us. listening to Sylvanesso. The song is Just Dancing, which is actually what Eddie's been
Not
doing.
just dancing. Be proud of yourself. You're dancing. Congratulations.
This week's feature segment is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. I can tell you firsthand, building a site with Squarespace is super easy.
Yes.
There's a simple, intuitive process where you can add and arrange your content and features with just the click of a mouse, all with no plugins. If you sign up for a year of Squarespace, you get a free custom domain included, and they have seamless commerce tools if you want to launch an online store. Beautiful templates, award-winning customer service. Go check it out. You won't regret it. We love Squarespace.
Parenthetically, like, tell us what you've done with your website. Some people, like, if they just got let go, like, if they just got fired, it might be a nice place to put up, like, I was a podcast producer,
Or
and
just
here's some clips I made.
Here's your resume.
Right, I can help with other podcasts.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Hey, right now, Squarespace is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special deal. You can start your free trial today at squarespace.com. And then when you decide to sign up for Squarespace, enter offer code RELEVANT to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace, set your website apart. There you go. This week, rapper Derek Minor releases his 7th studio album. It's called Your Soul Must Fly. The album's the first installment in the Up and Away series, a collection of music and films featuring diverse experimental styles that all help tell one story. We recently talked with Derek about the concept behind the project and had him walk us through some tracks on the new record. Prop, have you've recorded with Derek? I know you're friends, but...
Yeah, he produced one of the songs on my record. Actually, he produced one song on my last 2 records.
There you go.
Yeah.
We had him on the podcast a year or 2 ago. It was a hard-hitting conversation about race and the church.
Oh, that's right.
It was phenomenal. Yeah. He wasn't promoting an album. He just came in and had a really thoughtful conversation. It was really awesome. Well, there you go. Here is Derek Minor.
I keep blasting off like an astronaut, yeah. Oh my gosh, blasting off like an astronaut, yeah. Oh my gosh, blasting off like an astronaut, yeah. Oh my gosh, blasting off like an astronaut, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about the title track, because I feel like that sort of kicks off this, even though it's later on the album, kicks off sort of like the theme. Tell me a little bit. Did you start with the title track, Your Soul Must Fly? If not, tell me a little bit about like how that song particularly came about and some of the themes that you wanted to execute with Your Soul Must Fly, the song.
It's funny, that was the last song I recorded, but it's been in my head from the beginning. I just didn't find the right production. And then I got a folder of beats from this cat named Street Runner. If you know who he is, he produces for Fat Joe, Rick Ross, and a ton of other people. But he sent me this beat, and I was like, that's the track. Like, that's the track that I wanna, tell the story over. And it's the idea that I know for everyone that's born, even if someone is born into wealth, it's not their wealth. Like, we all are we're all born from the dust. And for our lives to have purpose, we have to find a way to take these dusty bodies and turn them into something. You know what I mean? We have to find how to create impact in our life before we leave. And oftentimes people's idea of impact is just make a lot of money. But I don't know anyone that's like revered for just making a lot of money. Like, usually those people are often despised. It's almost like the only thing he did with his life was make a lot of money and keep it to himself. Like, no one is like, we love this guy. Usually, except for the people that benefit from making, money off of him. But like, for us to really have, I think, whole fruitful lives, like, our soul has to fly, and that stuff has to be more than just material. I put it at the end of the album for a specific reason, because I wanted it to wrap up all of the little miniature concepts and the other songs in a bow for people.
We all came from nothing, everything that we got is out the mud, no lie. You were made for greatness, and if I can do it, you can do it too. But your soul must fly. Your soul must fly. Your soul must fly.
one of the songs that was one of the singles, "Take Off." It has some cool collaborations that I wanted you to talk about, but also I feel like it's sort of a taking off point for some of these bigger ideas. Is that the song that you started with for the project?
Yeah, it took a long time though. It took a while to finish it because there's so many collaborations. But yeah, that was one of the first songs. I think it may have been it was the second song. Astronaut was the first song. Takeoff was the second song. And when I made Takeoff, I pictured, like, when you think of a runway, like if a plane is going to get enough momentum to fly, it has to get a lot of energy on the runway. And that's what, when we made Takeoff, that was the whole idea, was to make it high energy and kind of be like the jumping point for everything. So I want to make it just fire. So that's why I added Ty Brazzle and I added Cannon and I added KB, because I was like, yo, you got to have all this energy, and it has to. I want to feel epic in like a moment.
Take off, get ready to go. Young Moses with the glow. I'm living color to my skin tone, just an all white like the gold. Young Joseph with the cool. Dream big till they hate you. We don't do it to get famous. Now you're off, now brown, just trying to be faithful. Take off, 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 take off. Wrong way. Take off, take off, take off, take off, take off. Yeah.
I want to talk about one more song because it's another one that has some interesting collaborations. Is Level. Tell me how that one came together and how you talk to your fellow artists to kind of how you kind of pitch them on this particular song.
Well, it's funny because Lil Bree, I've been watching him in Nashville. He's a local Nashville artist, and he's like doing really well. He's really like, when you think of Nashville, when you think about the future of Nashville, he's the type of artist you're going to think about. And I've been watching this kid since he was in high school. I remember he was in high school and dropped a music video. I was like, yo, this is crazy for a 16-year-old dude. So he's developed and created some great music. And I was like, yo, I got to get something with you. And the texture of his voice was exactly what I heard on that beat. My man Juice Banger sent me the track. And I was like, yo, I got to get Bree on this. Like, I got to get Lil Bro on this. So I sent it to him, and he sent me back. I sent him one hook, and then he sent me back the Level hook. Like, that song was initially called Ready for Whatever. And he was like, it's cool. Can I tweak it a little bit? He heard the concept of the projects and all that. And then he went back. He came to the studio and just made this amazing hook. So that was kind of like the start of the record. And then my man Byron, he's a dope artist. Like, he sings, he raps, he plays like 5 instruments. So I had it in this folder, and I'd give access to like a lot of my homies and just say, yo, check this stuff out, tell me what you think. And he was like, yo, man, I know I'm already on Astronaut, but this Level record is really resonating with me. Can I throw something on it? I was like, cool. So I'm thinking he's gonna like do like a regular rap verse. And he kind of does this melodic in-between rap thing that I was like, oh yeah, I love the contrast because the beat is so hard. Yeah. And then he has this melodic thing that he's doing over it that's like, whoa. Like it made for a good record.
Yeah, they like the talk. I got sauce. I'm getting off. Get up on my level. 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 They like to talk. Yeah, they like to talk. I got sauce. I'm getting off. Get up on my level. 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 Yeah.
That was Derek Minor. Stay tuned. Up next, Robert Lee IV.
We just met, girl, I know, but you had me pressed on arrival. Spent too many nights on my own. Now you're all I see when the lights low. Is it hard to imagine being one? Am I reading it right? Tell me, am I wrong?
The song is Ice Boy. That is a crazy, captivating, weird song. I listen to it a lot. As his name suggests, Robert Wright Lee IV is a descendant of the Confederate Civil War general whose statue in Charlottesville was ground zero for recent protests led by white supremacists. He's also a college professor and a United Church of Christ pastor. Reverend Lee recently gained national attention when he took the stage at the MTV Video Music Awards last week to denounce racism and introduce the mother of Heather Heyer, the counter-protester killed by a white supremacist in Charlottesville. After we saw the segment, we were blown away and reached out to him to come on the show. What you're going to hear is part of that conversation. We were posting other segments as well on the website at relevantmagazine.com. Go check it out. Here is part of our interview with Reverend Robert Wright Lee IV.
I'd love to hear just a little bit of your story. I've read a lot of things that you've written, and I like them a lot. But I'm curious just about some of how your identity and understanding of your own family's legacy has developed from the time you were young up to now. So when you were growing up, what was your understanding of Robert E. Lee, and has that changed, or how has that changed in the ensuing years?
Well, it's kind of a weird story, right? I mean, like, to grow up under the shadow of a murky figure in history. He's certainly a murky history. Like, I mean, I don't want to condemn the man. I really don't. I have trouble doing that. I think what he did was wrong. I think what he did was incredibly wrong. But he's also, like, that same bloodline runs through me. And in some small ways, I wonder what I would have done had I been in his shoes, 200 years ago in the context and time of history. And I think that's something that we have to consider when talking about Robert E. Lee. And I think my parents were very good about that with me. Of course, I bear the name to a point. I'm Robert Wright Lee IV. I bear Robert Lee's name. And so to think about what that meant, my parents didn't name me after him. They named me after my dad, my grandparents, my granddad, and my great-granddad. But that goes back even further, and there's more Robert Lees, and there's, that. So I don't think they were thinking about naming me after Robert Lee, like, per se, but they certainly knew the context. And so growing up, I was always aware of that, but I was also always told that, this is a different time in history, and we have to consider it such. I had great parents who raised me to think that race shouldn't be an issue in talking to people. It should be something to be celebrated. I had a lady take care of me when I was really young, who was 60 years my senior and a person of color. And her name was Jamie. And Jamie really, she wouldn't drink out of the same glasses as me because I was white. She was very much in the era of Jim Crow still, even though we were in the 90s. And so one of the things that happened there was I kind of realized that, oh my gosh, people view me differently than I view myself. And that's what white privilege is. It's this underlying current that I don't see as a white person, and so I needed to recognize that, and I recognized that from very early on. I'm not saying I'm a hero in recognizing it. I just knew it was something that was in the vocabulary of people around me.
Why do you think, and I know you don't want to toot your own horn, and I understand that, but why do you think that's something that you were able to recognize from a very young age that is still very, very difficult for a lot of people, for a lot of white people, as they get older, people who are adults who have been around it for a long time? What's the hurdle there that's hard to cross?
Well, it's one of those things that I've grappled with for a long time. Like, why can't we just see it for what it is and name it? Because the second we name it, we're on the right track towards a different future. But I think for some, even the most unprivileged white person has privilege, and so I think they're blinded by it. We're all blinded by it. We're all, as white people, we are all blinded. We have blind spots. And some of those blind spots are a lot bigger than others. And so I feel like we need to at least acknowledge that white privilege is in the room. And the second we do that, we get better. But as for why people do it, I don't know. I've been, as someone said, I was complaining on I wasn't complaining, but I was reporting back on Facebook, on my personal Facebook page, that I had been, the victim of some hate mail, some threats, stuff like that. And one of my friends commented to me, as a white person, you now are a lightning rod because you're taking what other people might receive in that place. So I took this as, an opportunity to speak up and speak out. And, I've seen some of the videos that had over, 1 million views that I've done for the Upworthy video had over 1 million views. And that's not something I never expected, but then again, it's appropriate because if anyone who is white will listen to me, I want them to listen, and then it's worth it in the end,
Yeah.
Because, and I debated doing the VMAs for a long time, to be quite honest with you. Not as long as I'd like to, because I didn't have that much time, but in the course of it, I debated what it meant to do this, because they could have had a person of color on stage, they could have had anybody else. But then again, it gave me an opportunity to speak to a group of people that may not listen to others.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we can use that privilege for good, like I said to the VMAs, it'll be a great thing.
I want to ask you about about your take on the Confederate monuments or memorials, depending on the vernacular there. You obviously have a more personal connection to them than even a lot of the people who are very adamant about them needing to stay where they are. What's your, broadly speaking, what's your opinion on statues of Robert E. Lee and other Confederate generals around the country?
Well, I mean, it's hard, right? You want to be proud of your family. You want to be proud they did. But then again, you consider the context of what it means and when those statues were put up. For instance, I've been in a conversation lately with Duke University because I'm an alumnus of Duke. And Duke took down, I don't know if you heard, but Duke University took down the statue from their chapel.
Yeah.
I remember walking by that statue when I was in school there, just for 2 years, just from 15 to 2017. And feeling awfully awkward because those statues were erected, 1920s, 1930s as a symbol of white supremacy, not as a symbol of heroism or of courage or of dignity. And I think that's what we have to contextualize about these statues, is they weren't there to celebrate a person. They were there to celebrate white supremacy and create an idol to it. And I think that's a dangerous, dangerous thing that we're doing.
So to play devil's advocate, somebody comes to you and says, well, whatever the intention might have been behind them, that's not why I want to leave them up. I want to leave them up to celebrate my heritage or the heritage of my family. Or Robert E. Lee was just whatever noble characteristics he had. We want to celebrate those in our country. What would you say to those arguments?
Well, I'm teaching right now at Appalachian State a course called Religion and the Imaginary Worlds, and we're talking about the conception of history as imagination. And I'd say their imagination is a little bit skewed about history. We all have perceptions of history, but in reality, if you read about Robert E. Lee, if you've done any work studying Robert E. Lee, he was not kind to his slaves. And if slavery can't be kind inherently, it is a trait of slavery is that it is an unkind institution. And so I think that it is one of those things that we have to consider and to think about. But if your heritage is really filled with violence and with bigotry and with white supremacy, is that something you really want to celebrate?
Yeah.
Even if the intentions were pure in that, I still don't think that's something you could celebrate. Mm-hmm. Heritage cannot be filled with hate.
Speaking to you as a pastor, what do you think, generally speaking, broadly speaking, how do you feel like the American church's response to what you called America's original sin of racism has been?
It's been abysmal. It has been awful. It has been almost, I would say, heretical. The God I have come to know in Jesus Christ is so far from white supremacy and so far from racism that for the church, in a sense, especially the evangelical church, and the mainline Protestant church is guilty of it as well, but especially the evangelical church, to be ready to get in bed with people like Donald Trump, to be ready to get in bed with people who are espousing these views is dangerous. to the future of the church and to what we're saying as a people. And it's sad to me to hear that the loudest voices are those that are the most racist and the most white supremacist minded. The church is not responding well. And it's obvious in our pews because, the churches that I'm a part of and have been a part of all my life, I could count on one hand how many persons of color attend our church, And it's the most segregated hour, to borrow from history, It's sad. I don't even have words for it. It makes me sick.
So what would you say to the small still but growing community of white mainline Protestants, white evangelicals, who are coming around to the idea that yes, white privilege is real, and yes, we have not reckoned adequately with racism in this country, and they want to get involved, they want to make amends, but they just don't really know what that next step should look like or what it means for them now that they're aware of this?
I think the first steps to anything, as we said, is admittance.
Yeah.
And then we go from there. We look into ourselves and see what privilege and power we have, and we use it. I mean, you may not have as big of an audience as the VMAs, but you have an audience. You have a church community. You have someone listening. You have someone with different views than you. And so how can you speak up and speak out in God's name? I mean, that's the point of this, right? Is by vocation of our baptisms, we are called to be people who speak up and speak out against oppression, against evil in whatever forms they present themselves. That's the United Methodist liturgy right there. And I think about that a lot. I'm like, gosh, that's what has to happen. And that's what we have to stand for.
That was Robert Wright Lee IV. Stay tuned. Up next, our new issue preview.
Oh, in no time at all, this will be the day. This is still past. What he'd give for one more day to rate and analyze the world made in his image as of yet to realize.
Listening to Ballad of the Dying Man by Father John Misty. Little foreshadowing. Well, we won't take up too much time. This has been a packed show already, but every couple months, it's big news for us here at Relevant. The new issue of Relevant has come out. Now, what we want to do is give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at kind of what went into the issue. You obviously can go check it out for yourself online. You can pick it up in newsstands, and obviously subscribers probably even already have it. So we don't want to just recap the issue. We want to tell you a little bit more behind the heart and thought that went into it. So joining us for this segment, Jesse is here. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, guys.
And joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, guys.
Tyler used to be the managing editor of the magazine, and as we've been in kind of a team or staff transition over the summer, he has stepped back in and has been very involved in the website and magazine stuff. And this was, I think, the first issue you've been part of in a while, huh?
I would do some. I would show up here and there for a little bit of help, but this was the first one that I was really on board in. What I would call probably a vital capacity or
a mission critical. Yeah, you could say MVP. Yeah,
and I think it should. I think it shows.
Yeah. Well, this was a fun issue for us to put together for a number of reasons. We'll give you kind of a scope of what we covered in a second. But the cover story was, I would say, in the 17 years we've been doing print since 2003. So in the 14 years we've been doing the magazine, it was probably the most unique way that a cover story has come together. Our cover subject is Father John Misty. If you don't know him, he was part of Fleet Foxes for a number of years. He's been a solo artist since 2000, and as Father John Misty since 2012. He's done 3 albums. His most recent is Pure Comedy, and it came out this year, and it has a ton of compelling and some would say biting religious commentary. Here's a clip of his single Pure Comedy.
Comedy. Now that's what I call pure comedy. Just wait until the part where they start to believe they're at the center of everything.
Well, when the album came out, I heard an interview that he did with Zane Lowe on Apple Music, and he talked a lot about growing up in the church. Now, if you've listened to his music, it's usually very dripping with kind of wrestling with faith in the church or being critical of it. And so he came from a place of a church background, but I didn't know the full story. And when he was talking to Zane Lowe, it was like, holy cow, this guy grew up like in the bubble. I mean, Christian school, went to a Christian university, the whole thing, couldn't listen to secular music. I mean, everything, was involved in youth group, was a youth leader, everything probably a lot of our listeners have experienced as well. And then in college, he dropped out and he walked away from it. And he's been wrestling with that thing of figuring out his beliefs outside of the context of that bubble, kind of ever since then. There's more to the story, a lot more to it, but we reached out wanting to do an interview with him, and his label said, no, thank you. And that's not completely unusual. I mean, that happens from time to time. And we're like, oh, well, it would have been a great human interest story, and we moved on. And then all of a sudden one day, Aaron Hanbury, who's on our editorial team, who used to work here in the office with us, pops in my office around 4:00, and he said, Have you seen what Father John Misty's been tweeting about us today? And I was like, no. I've been in meetings. I've been on Twitter. But then when I was laying in bed that night, I'm like, oh yeah, I was wanting to check out what Father John Misty was doing. And so I pulled up his feed. This is like 1 a.m. and I'm laying in bed reading his Twitter feed, and it is the most bizarre string of tweets about how he found his new favorite magazine relevant, and then it just kind of went from there into this it wasn't really mocking us as much as it was lampooning something, and then it got more and more bizarre, and it was just I don't get it. If he's trying to take us down, this isn't actually the most effective way to do that. It was just really strange. And we're fans of his music and think highly of him as an artist. And so I just thought it was really strange. I got to the bottom of it. Apparently that day, Tyler had posted a post on our website, debuting Father John Misty's new music video. Tyler, you want to tell us what you said and your thoughts about that video? And what
proudly, I want to tell you about it without an ounce of regret. No, he released a new music video that was, as Father John Misty's videos tend to be, and his music tends to be, sort of biting and satirical, and in this case, sort of a takedown of capitalism. And the video is very explicit about that.
Real quick, just for context, real quick, before you get into your analysis, it featured Macaulay Culkin as Kurt Cobain being crucified on a cross, and one of the Roman soldiers was Father John Misty dressed as Ronald McDonald. So when people say, so when you say it was a biting commentary about capitalism, that is accurate, but I feel like people need to know the commentary for your analysis, but please continue.
I wouldn't call it the most subtle commentary I've ever seen on capitalism. And I want to make it clear here for Father John Misty, who may well be listening, I don't disagree with his assessment. I think it's true. I pointed out in my analysis that there were some complications to any critique of capitalism, particularly when your video features an ad to go buy your new album. Things just get a little bit messy when it comes to critiquing capitalism from within the capitalist system. If he takes issue with that, I would love to sit down with Father John Misty. And in fact, that's sort of what ended up happening.
Yeah. So he, got the Twitter alert that we had tagged him in this post, and he clicked on it and didn't take too kindly to Tyler's pithy little comment, and then decided to go at us all day after that. He, had, a couple million Twitter followers. He followed one account. And I clicked on it, curious, that's odd. I clicked on it, he followed relevant. And so, that was even how deep his satire goes, And so, it dawned on me that, this is 1:15, 1:30 in the morning. he follows us, I can message him. And so as Relevant, I sent him a message and I was just like, hey man, just wanted you to know that like, we get it. We're in on the joke, like you're Christian media, you have fun with that at our expense. That's fine. I just want you to know that we love the new album. We think what you're saying in your music is important, and that you, especially Christians, should engage this dialogue. And just wanted you to know we're fans. That was it. It was just kind of I knew one of two things would happen. Either he would screenshot that direct message and then tweet it the next day and try to make fun of us, or he would reply, And so the next morning I get up and I was like, oh yeah, I wonder what happened. And it said, you can no longer message this account. So he unfollowed us overnight. And then around 2:00 that day, he refollowed us and sent a reply. And he said, well, it's, quite a different tone than your coverage, and he and I introduced myself, and he and I started going back and forth over the course of the next week or so. And I just, was letting him know, like, we know, we loved I Love You Honey Bear and his music. But again, I think it's important that we engage critical dialogue. And in some respects, that's kind of what Relevant is doing as well. We're not critical. But we are trying to enact change in our own way. And so anyway, I thought we had a lot in common. We ended up talking. I mentioned I had heard the interview about his background, and we had a lot more in common than we probably would have thought.
Yeah. And
so I said, we would, we wanted to interview you for the magazine, but someone said no. He goes, I'll do an interview. And sure enough, a few weeks later, I'm in his living room in LA, and I don't really do stories for the magazine. I don't do interviews for the magazine, but because we had this dialogue, I thought it'd be good. And we have a lot of commonality in our personal backgrounds. I thought it'd be an interesting opportunity. And so I flew out there and did this interview. And I'll tell you, we talked for 4 hours. I went to the studio with him afterwards, heard him recording his next album. It was one of the most stunning, transparent conversations. I mean, he was ready to get into it. There was no like chit chat, get to know you stuff. He was like, let's go, and you can tell from the piece that ended up coming out of it that Tyler and Jesse both heavily crafted. It was probably one of the most honest dialogues about growing up in the church and wrestling with that and looking for kind of a grown-up faith. He said, I am a Christian. Now, he has a very non-traditional kind of lifestyle for somebody who would make that claim, but it is interesting to talk to somebody who comes from, I would say, the bubble, and they go outside of the bubble and are still earnestly looking for that sincere relationship with Christ. And it was a really honest dialogue and a fascinating story, even if you're not a fan of his music.
I think that this is I've worked on a lot of stories for Relevant, and I'm proud of everything that we've worked on that Relevant's put out. But it's really rare to hit that just perfect bullseye of every single strain that Relevant wants to cover that falls within our purview to be in the exact same story, and for it to be a cover story, and for the person, for Father John Misty, to be so open and honest about it. Cameron, I thought you had a really fantastic interview with him, and I think I appreciate how open he was, and Jess, your crafting of it was great. This was a real home run, I think, for the magazine. I loved reading it again as soon as my issue came in the mail. The
level of access he gave us goes to this degree. The cover photo shoot, his Father John Misty's real name is Josh Tillman. Josh's wife is a photographer. She did the photo shoot for us in and around their home. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a very, the access, it was really unprecedented for us. And just the funny story of how it all even came together. I wrote my column about it because the backstory to a cover story, we have a lot of artists who say thoughtful things on our cover, but we've never had one come together this way. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like you were saying, Cameron, the degree and thoughtfulness that he wanted to engage the topic of faith and what it means to be a Christian was fascinating and completely unguarded, which really translates in the piece.
Speaking of unguarded, another piece that was stunning, I thought, in the issue was Terry Crews. You know him from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You know him from the Old Spice commercials. You know him from movies. He's almost
Idiocracy.
He's almost a human action figure. Terry Crews. He's a comedic actor. He's also a Christian, and we have him in the issue, and he opens up about almost losing it all, losing his marriage, losing everything because because of a secret life he had, struggling with pornography in particular, and was kind of living this outward Christian life on one side and was living a double life on another. And he, is on the other side of that struggle in many ways, and was like shockingly open and transparent about that journey of what he went through. The piece with Terry Crews is not to be missed.
That's another one where it's just rare when you talk to some people. It sometimes can be difficult, or at least sort of a challenge, to find that level of openness and to build that level of trust, understandably, with these people. They're talking to an interviewer they don't necessarily know. But Terry Crews was so willing to talk about something that's very, very vulnerable and extremely difficult to talk about. And I hope that his story is really encouraging for a lot of people.
Yep. The other thing too is, like, I feel like most people know his personality as like this high energy, funny, super charismatic guy. But like that's not, I'm not to say like that's an act, but the Terry Crews you get in the piece is the real dude. It's behind the characters, and it's a really, his ability to be completely transparent is super powerful.
Yep, absolutely. There's a lot of variety in the issue. Erin Lochner, who's an HGTV personality, talks to us about slowing down. She walked away from quite kind of a fast-paced career to intentionally kind of live her life's message out, and it's a great piece. We have a 2017 fall TV preview. There's some amazing stuff coming out this fall.
Yeah, and not only that, like this year, I feel like almost more than any other year in memory, TV is providing us with like this mirror to culture that we try to dig into. So instead of like years past, we've done like kind of like a breakdown of new shows, which there's validity to, but we tried to kind of take an interesting turn on it this time around. So not only telling people about the new shows that we're excited about, but also, sort of what they reflect in pop culture. So one of these things you've seen, shows that are in the works that are about like millennials trying to hustle and do cool, and things out on their own. Zach Braff is adapting the Startup podcast into a show called Alex Inc. You also see all these supernatural shows, like Josh Ritter is starring in a show about a guy who believes he is called by God to enact change. You have A Year of Living Biblically is being created and transformed into a CBS sitcom. It really shows like culture's desire to enact change through faith, and so we try to find all these threads, and I feel like doing an analysis of what's coming up on the TV lineup really provided some interesting insight for us to kind of learn about some cultural felt needs.
Here's a clip of the Gospel of Kevin.
I am a messenger from God sent here to Kevin.
Who are you?
In every generation, there's 36 people that stand for all the righteous souls in the world. You are one of those souls.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I love it.
Who are you talking to?
She can't see me.
You don't see anybody else in this kitchen right now?
There you go. I was on, people are getting the magazine this week. Subscribers are getting the magazine. And last night I was tagged in an Insta story by the Jason Kennedy from E! News. He's a friend. He got the magazine. and he tagged me because he was flipping through the new issue. And he saw Lainey and he freaked out. And he loves Lainey. They're buddies.
Oh, cool.
And Lainey's in the new issue. After 4 EPs, their debut LP is finally here. Goodness gracious, Lainey. It took a while.
Dude, those guys laid the groundwork, man.
We're huge fans. Lainey's debut album is out. We talked to him about it. Here's a clip of Lainey.
Waking up to nothing when you're super far from home, and I watch you fall asleep at night and lay there on my own. Got me begging for affection, all you do is roll your eyes. Broken down, I've had enough. If this is love, I don't want it.
On the music side, we also have Andy Mineo. He has a new mixtape. As you know, here on the podcast a few weeks ago, we had Words Played on the show. Andy Mineo and Words Played have a new mixtape out called Larry Magic and Bird. And here's a clip of it.
Starting, but don't try and play. Then I went ghost like I'm Sways. Two-tone in the Patagon, that's beach and Navy. Hasselhoff from the slow mode, that's sexy wavy. And I wrist. I know there's opposition, but it's swish. I know you seen them do it, but not like this. Money make you or it break you. Take the game before it take you.
It's cool to hear Andy having fun again. You know, it's like the piece he really opens up about while he was trying to make this new album. He was just putting so much pressure on himself to have hits and stuff. It was almost like creatively locking him up. He was struggling with depression during that period. I mean, he really opened up in the piece about it. And then somebody gave him the advice, and just have some fun, make some music for the kids. And this is the album that came out of it. It was pretty cool.
I enjoyed working on enjoyed it and was moved a lot by working on the piece that is in the issue on the sanctuary church movement. There's been an explosion of sanctuary churches that are offering literal sanctuary to undocumented persons living in the United States. And talking to some of the pastors who have made the decision along with their congregations to house immigrants in their churches and give them a little bit of shelter while the federal government tries to figure out what's going on. The best way to deal with immigrants in this country was something that challenged a lot of my beliefs about undocumented persons living in the country. And it's fun when you go into a piece to start researching something with an idea of how it's going to turn out, and it ends up turning out very, very differently the more you learn about it. And I really like the piece and how it ended up coming together.
In the issue also, quickly, Greg Boyd, we talked to him about the God of the Old Testament and how is this violent God, the same one that we see in the New Testament. Greg Boyd talks to us. We talk about the waiting game, how so many of us, it almost seems like God is withholding your dreams. And, it may not be that God's withholding it. It might just be a matter of timing. And then I think probably the most important piece in the entire issue was Tyler's The Definitive Guide to Christian Mingling.
Wait, I want Jesse. I want to make sure that I don't take full credit for it as much as I'd like to, because Jesse Carey was I relied on his romantic wisdom a lot for this one.
We got Tyler. We use an inter-office communication tool, and Tyler sent me a message on it. It was a screenshot of a tweet someone sent, because people, like Cameron said, people are getting the new issue, and it was a screenshot of someone had taken a picture of the page of the magazine and said, "I laughed out. I LOL'd at this," and it was one of Tyler's jokes that he encountered out in the wilds of Twitter, and that's how I knew we did our job with this one. The feedback's pretty pouring in for our definitive guide to Christian mingling, which contains basically a culmination of the worst types of Christian dating advice you've ever heard, packaged in a way that only we can, and I'm extremely proud of it.
Yeah, it was very helpful. It was eye-opening. It was moving. I cried. I laughed. I have it pinned up on my wall. I mean, it's the highlight.
I think it's
of the
one of
issue.
those situations where a bunch of negatives end up making a positive. Like, it's all bad advice, but if you implement it all, it's gonna make your romantic life a lot smoother.
Wait. It's bad advice? Oh man.
Well, individually, it's bad advice, but taken again, you gotta look at the full
as
picture.
a whole. Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a lot more in the issue. Those are just some of the highlights. Go check it out. The cool thing about this issue, the September issue, it is in literally every Barnes & Noble. We're normally in about 2/3 of Barnes & Nobles. They took us in chain-wide front row of the magazine section. Go check it out. You'll see Father John Misty's staring at you as you walk up. Support at newsstands actually helps us out quite a bit. The more we sell through, the more stores bring us in. If you aren't near a Barnes & Noble or other newsstand that carries us, you can view the whole issue online, though. You want to hold it in your hands. Come on. It's nice paper. But you can view it online at relevantmagazine.com as well. And we're running a promo right now. If you subscribe today, there's a special price that you can take advantage of. So, guys, great job on this issue and the whole team behind you. Really, it was a lot of fun, and the variety and the substance and the levity. It was a blast. Jesse, every issue that Jesse's been part of this year, he said to me, like, dude, this is our best one yet. That's always the goal, right? Your next one is your best one. I don't know how you're going to top this one.
You try to. But I do feel like this. There's so many touches of detail that I think will translate to the readers. I mean, we have a board game. We have you can open the magazine and play a board game in Front Matter. Like, there's a lot of little fun details I think people are really going to dig in this one. So we're really proud of it. And like Cameron said, the whole team, from design to editorial, the whole team. We put a lot of work into it, and hope people dig it.
There you go. Check it out. relevantmagazine.com. The September issue featuring Father John Misty is out now. Stay tuned. Up next, your feedback.
Stranger with
listening to Cardinox. The song is The District Sleeps Alone Tonight. It's a song that I play every night in my house.
God almighty, Cameron.
It's time for your feedback. Hey, so last week we were talking about seasonal foods. Shauna was on, so of course we got talking about
I listened.
Seasonal foods.
We love Shauna.
She's the best.
Kind of bums me out that I couldn't be on with her.
That was your choice. You had the flu.
I know. Pop-Up got sick, and I understand that, but still, I would like to have Shauna.
We would have liked to have you on as well, but the flu had other plans.
Because of the rest of us, we can do without each other for a week. We're fine. But Shauna, I mean, come on.
It's a special moment when Shauna's on.
She's my soul series.
Yeah. So we got to talk about food, and Jesse's and Shauna basically were talking a lot about the fact that, like, why does there have to be seasonal food? Why is it pumpkin only in the fall?
That's right.
Why is it candy canes only at Christmas?
Right.
Why is the Cadbury cream eggs only at Easter? Why can't we just have all of it available all year long? So our question of the week last week was, what seasonal foods do you have strong feelings about?
Yes.
And why? You guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. You posted also on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here are a few of our favorites.
Eddie, I feel like you should read that marshmallow one because I feel like you're a man that has strong opinions about marshmallows. I feel like we've talked about that before. But in the meantime...
that they're the worst?
Do you really? You don't like marshmallows?
No.
I hate marshmallows.
Thank you.
Prop, don't you also hate creamy stuff?
I hate like white creamy substances in general.
Interesting. So mayonnaise,
butter, sour cream, cream cheese, all of it.
Wow, you're really that's a pretty
like they
broad
don't
spectrum
taste
of food.
they don't taste anything alike. He just hates it all because it's white and creamy.
It's the consistency that I have lactose issues too, though, so that's part of where that started. But then after a while, I was like, this is actually disgusting.
Well.
I disagree.
Okay, time out. I
wholeheartedly.
got an important question. How do you feel about the inside of Oreos / Ho-Hos?
Gross.
Wow. Interesting.
Propaganda.
I'm shocked right now.
I'll eat the Oreo cookie, but I'm going to scrape off the cream.
You are an animal. I can't even know you right now. That was one too far propaganda.
The cookie's the worst part of the Oreo.
Yeah, that's the part you got to.
really is.
It's the part you got to deal with to get to the real thing.
Yeah.
They keep inventing Oreos to get more stuffing in them.
It's
That's
kind of like our
the whole thing.
podcast. You have to deal with the first hour to get
Right.
to the good content
That's
in the
right.
middle.
Right.
And then you got to deal with this part now.
Essentially,
And you know what? And you know what? I sometimes skip the interviews when I listen to the podcast. I want to hear you guys crack jokes.
So he essentially Donald Ducks the whole show.
I don't know what that means.
Think about it. It's a thinker. You'll get it. I don't want to explain it.
You'll get there.
We might have a female co-host someday, and I'll have a lot to explain.
All right, Jesse, what's the one you were talking about?
Okay, so Matthew says that he is all about some eggnog, so much so that he posts a caption. He takes a picture, posts a caption of his first eggnog of the year, and also includes with it the lyrics to a different love song every year, which is dedicated to his love of eggnog.
Oh, that's funny.
At the end of the year, he then posts the tally of how many liters of eggnog he drank that year.
Oh,
wow.
Last year,
Liters.
Last year, Michael drank 16 liters of eggnog during the holiday season. Props to that dude. I haven't drinking 16 liters of eggnog in my entire life combined.
I had never had eggnog until this past Christmas season.
haven't
and I
at this
finally
point.
tasted it. And because the
It's
idea
delicious.
of an egg beverage just sounded gross, kind of the same reason why I've never had cheesecake.
Yeah.
And I tasted it. I got to tell you, a little bit delicious.
It's fantastic.
It tastes like flavored phlegm.
Jean Douglas, which I believe he pronounces John Douglas, but I believe should pronounce it Jean Douglas. Jean Douglas Graves says, I have a complex relationship with marshmallows, which just that is enough to let you know Jean Douglas is a friend. By this, I mean that there are 2 seasonal items with marshmallows that I really don't like much, and 2 others that I love. I dislike Peeps and s'mores. Fascinating. But I love marshmallows and hot cocoa and enjoy them in sweet potatoes. I can hear that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm well aware
We
that
have to stop there.
What about Lucky Charms?
We have to stop there.
Jean Douglas doesn't talk about it. I'm stopping. Prop, tell us.
Because there's a very serious cultural moment that needs to be pointed out right here. It is absolute blasphemy to put marshmallows on sweet potatoes and yams.
I agree.
Really?
We don't do that.
I think otherwise they're uneditable. If you don't load them with so much cinnamon and marshmallow that I barely
You're
taste
tripping.
I'll say this.
the potato.
I was raised in a very Southern family. I mean, my grandmother, we call her Big Mama. She okay. I'll tell you, she cooks sweet potatoes regularly. And like the normal sweet potatoes, no marshmallows. But when it came around, like specifically Thanksgiving, it was a special meal. We'd throw it on top. You know,
you do not put marshmallows on the yams.
Well,
you do not do that. Let me tell you. Give me all my relevant listeners. If you at some point, it's someone in your family dates or marries someone black, okay? Leave the marshmallows at home. Do not. You want your future mother-in-law to hate you? Put the marshmallows on there. You want all they siblings to snickle and giggle every time you walk in the room? You want that? You want the bowl that you brought to stay untouched?
What?
Then go ahead and put the marshmallows on the top of that.
That's crazy.
Can I ask you a question though, Prop? Can I just?
Yes, you can ask me a question.
But I mean, okay, no one will know.
Right.
Have you tried it with the marshmallows?
It's
and what do you
delicious.
think?
Here's the thing.
Well, he didn't like
I
creamy.
have, because everyone, listen, I grew up phenomenally multicultural, and we used to do like around the world Thanksgivings. It would be like 4 and 5 different families at 4 and 5 different houses, and I would get the look by one of my parents to be like, you better eat that. If it's on your plate, you have to eat it.
Right.
And I forced myself to eat it because these nice people invited us in their house and invited us to dinner.
Right.
So I had to eat it. And we all left the house going, God, that stuff was disgusting.
But I think you're
But
different
boy, did
because
we
you don't
eat it.
like white creamy stuff, and the melted marshmallows makes it creamy.
I wish you need to go back to this Derek Minor interview and ask him, does he put marshmallows on his...
Anyhow, Jean Douglas, I agree with you. I will say there is, and I am not sponsored by these people, but if you guys had, I typically like really dislike marshmallows, like the jet puffed marshmallows. To me, they're
Good
just
for you.
they're a terrible food.
Yeah.
But there is like a boutique-y fancy marshmallow place in town, Wonder Maid.
Wonder Maid, yeah.
They're crazy.
Yeah, they're going to sponsor the new studio. We're just going to be pounding Wonder Maid marshmallows the entire time we record.
I would like Wonder Maid to sponsor the Eddie Koffelt's memorial
Sure.
desk.
Yeah, I like it.
So
we'll just have a little box of Wonder Maids there always for you.
try Wonder Maid, Jean Douglas. It'll change your life.
Well, Eric Odom, real quick, he has an interesting theory just about seasonal food in general that he's distilling into his take on the McRib. He doesn't know if it's seasonal, but they only release it, every like once a year. You can only get the McRib a couple times a year. And he says he's aware that there's no reason for him to like a McRib, but the scarcity makes him look forward to its arrival. I think that's the thing with all seasonal foods.
It's a good argument.
It's a scarcity thing. People don't love them. They just eat them. That's why this is not an agrarian society. Like you can get a pumpkin thing whenever you want. Okay. Like we're not dependent on the seasons anymore. We've hacked that. There's no reason to have the construct. You're being tricked by scarcity to like these things. And Eric nailed it with the McRib.
There you go. That's true. Because like if candy canes were always on the candy aisle, you would never buy one.
Right.
But when they pop out for Christmas, you're like, oh, I need to get a bag of candy canes.
Which nobody's even thinking of the fact that those, like the mints, the little Starlight mints or whatever, are just
little
round
beach ball ones,
are little round candy canes, and nobody has a problem with that.
Right.
Yeah, pinwheels.
Right. No big deal. It's just a little round candy cane, but it's not reminding us of like Christmas and Grandma. It's just, something to freshen my breath before I go into the big meeting.
Yes.
I also appreciate Shauna's passion of all the things that she really lights up about. And she is a passionate, involved person, but it is pretty intense when she starts talking about this, when she starts talking about the pumpkin spice latte stuff. I mean, it's really
it blew people's minds.
Yeah.
I saw people like tweeting timestamps like when their worlds crumbled.
Yeah.
At 45 minutes in, Shauna made their world crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And correct me if I use this phrase incorrectly, but she's fairly woke to the whole pumpkin spice issue. Is that the way to...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, that's very inappropriate, actually.
It's a thing, dude. Like, that's a whole culture. The PSL is a culture, bro.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. It's a lifestyle.
All right. Well, that'll do it for last week's feedback. There's a lot more. Go check it out. It's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. Well, earlier in the show, we were talking about the, own your fire campaign.
Yeah. It's a perfect campaign.
The perfect campaign for you to set up 18 different Gmail accounts, 18 different LinkedIn profiles, get 18 whoppers.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just got us thinking about being fired. I've been fired. I think we've probably all been fired at some point. No?
I came close, but I pulled the ripcord. I would say probably 5 minutes before I got fired.
Like you quit?
Yeah.
Preemptive quit?
Yeah, it's not me, it's you. No, I broke up with you. No, I broke up with you, technically. But
so we want to know your best firing story. Why'd you get fired? Did you deserve it? And or not your best firing story, or maybe the more unusual firing stories, the circumstances.
Was it like your brother that fired you? Were you able to get another podcasting job? Did you get a Whopper? It's a weird, whatever. Just tell us your stories.
It's a whole thing.
Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can post your longer stories on the comments section on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. This will be a good one.
A little behind the scenes of the relationship with Chandler. Like when I see him before the show and I know something's coming. Yeah. Like, 'cause I knew the Whopper thing. Like when he walked by this morning, I'm like, what's up, man? Like, I just know, like, it's like, oh, I can't look at this man in the eyes. I'm about to discredit him fairly publicly for 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as our relationship, me and Chandler. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know a slice coming. I just know that I'm going to do that.
Yeah. You guys don't even put marshmallows on your stuff. You just put,
it's just preemptive pants ripping.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So tell us your craziest firing stories, and did you deserve it?
Yeah.
And are you still hurt? Did you fill up on Whoppers?
Nobody cares about your feelings right now. Just tell us how you got fired.
Yeah.
I just want to laugh at you.
Yeah. Don't make it real, or we can't make fun of you.
Yeah. Many thanks to our sponsors for making this episode possible. Remember, you can go over to Casper.com/relevant and use promo code relevant to get $50 off any mattress purchase. Go do it. You'll like it. Also, Squarespace. You can start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code relevant to get 10% off your first purchase. Hey, thanks to our guests for joining us. Remember, Pastor Chris C., go to ecclesiahouston.org. Get involved. Please do what you can. Get your church involved. Rally something. I got to tell you something. I posted about donating aid. I got a text from a friend in California. He said we were in a meeting. He works at a church. He said we were in a meeting about what we could do. I had seen the post you were talking about, this organization doing great work in disaster relief in Houston, and we donated $50,000 to them.
That's killer.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Guys, let's band together. Yeah. Let's get behind Chris's efforts and the churches in the area. World Vision does amazing stuff. Convoy of Hope does amazing stuff. Yeah. And obviously, you heard Chris's story and what they're doing through the local church.
I know that's
the Red Cross as well.
But we'll continue from our personal accounts and from everything to the latest stuff we hear, or the latest stuff you hear. Just keep sharing it because things are kind of, the needs are moving fast.
Absolutely. Also, thanks to Derek Miner. Remember, his new album, Your Soul Must Fly, comes out today. And thanks to Reverend Robert Lee for joining us.
Pretty cool.
Unsurprisingly, he doesn't have a Twitter account, so I can't tell you where to follow him. But
he's like, you know what? I'm going to dip out of this.
He got into it with a mosquito on Twitter. It was a whole thing.
It's all bad.
Yeah. Hey, the new issue of Relevant is out now. Go check it out. It is in every Barnes & Noble, front and center, nationwide. Go check it out. I think you'll love the cover story. I think you'll love a lot. It's a packed issue. We love the support, but I think you'll like the issue as well. And if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe now at relevantmagazine.com and get a great deal that we're running. And on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang. The last time in this building, man.
This is too emotional.
The last time in this... This is a moment.
It's the real
I'm looking at you deeply.
To be clear, we're all going to be back for the exact same show. For you, the listener.
Nothing changes.
For us, and and propaganda doesn't care either. But for the rest of us who have souls, this is a very sad moment.
End of an era. Here we go. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Donald Duck.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm propaganda.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Searching for ticks on my big old bloodhound doggy.